What's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 2017 mod career mode here with Kimi Raikkonen in his Ferrari car. We're here with part number 8 today at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the Baku circuit. If you did miss episode number 7, then do go check that out before at the Canadian Grand Prix. Quite an awesome one, a little bit of drama in the race for myself and other drivers in there, so definitely go check that out before you see this one. But we're here for a double header episode as well, as you may be able to tell by the title and also just the length of the video. So Baku, you know, being Baku, that's pretty much all I need to say, really, and I think you can guess what I'm trying to hint at. Yeah, we needed a second race in here to kind of give you enough entertainment for the episode today. But we're going to kick things off here, obviously, with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we qualified, well, pretty much as good as we could have, really, at Baku. You know, behind the two Mercedes cars, they're very strong on the straights, and generally, I'm not great at this circuit compared to the AI, so it's just good to be there in 4th place. And we go to 5 red lights. We're going to kick things off straight away for 26 laps here at Baku under the sunlight. Can we try and go down the inside of Sebastian Vettel into turn 1 potentially? Bottas is unable to challenge his teammate Hamilton, and Hamilton actually waltzes away already, getting a gap in 1st place there. We're going side by side with Sebastian, and we're going to just still go side by side on the exit there, and we just about get it. And so up into the P3, into the podium positions already as we move, though, on swiftly onto the back straight. You can see the slipstream train is already beginning, and here goes Vettel on the right hand side, and look at that. I think one of the Red Bull cars, yep, he's going to try and slipstream us as well. As you can see, Hamilton to the far side of the Grand Prix as we cross the line for lap number 2. Can we defend from Vettel? No, we can't. We can't even have to defend from Max Verstappen. We have to bang tyres with him on the right hand side. We just about get that. Quite aggressive defensive move there, I'll admit, but you know, I needed to do it because otherwise he would have mugged me off around the outside. Unfortunately, I had no answer for Vettel there. I mean, I didn't want to really challenge him too much because I was wary of Verstappen as well there, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest, too much at Baku, because then we get to lap 3 and we're already overtaking him before we even open the DRS flap on our rear wing to get the extra speed. So really, in the end of it, didn't make much use. And actually what happened was I started to slipstream Vettel, and me and Vettel started to basically use each other as a bit of tow, like we've seen the Ferrari cars do at Monza, I guess, in qualifying, kind of just use each other as a tow line. And so as we move on to lap 6, you can see I'm getting some faster lap times. We're trying to close up to the two Mercedes cars as best we can, but at this stage it's looking like they have it pretty comfortably in the bag in terms of potentially for a 1-2. I think it might be a fight for P3, but a safety car has been called out there, and so we duck into the pits straight under the safety car. So I think there was a kerfuffle behind us with one of the midfield teams. You could see it on the mini-map previously when the safety car symbol came out. So we've pit underneath that safety car, and some of the people behind us, you can see on the mini-map, have opted to do that as well. I think also Bottas has done that. Similarly up front, I think Hamilton may have stayed out, so that may hinder Hamilton quite a bit, which is quite important for him, because we saw last episode, if he did catch it, that Ricciardo is only a couple of points behind Hamilton now in the championship after a no-scoring race for both Mercedes cars last time out. So that's quite crucial. Potentially, we could really see the two Red Bull cars. Maybe, I don't know, if one of the Mercedes cars fluffs up today, we could see a Red Bull car overtake them in the Drivers' Championship. But you can see now on lap 10, we are behind Kvyat, and it's Hamilton still out ahead. So Hamilton didn't opt to make a pit stop, I'm pretty sure, and he stayed out in the lead for now. But obviously, he's going to be a bit out of sync. He'll have much more worn tyres than the rest of us in a few laps' time. And at the moment, though, I'm just concentrating down at Kvyat, and you can see up ahead, Hamilton's actually waltzed away from Kvyat, and this is how slow Kvyat has been, and he's holding me up quite a treat through Sector 2. But now, finally, down the main straight, as we go through the S's, I guess you could call them at Baku, not really complete S's, but we go side by side with Kvyat, so close to the walls and his front left there, and it's just a straight drag race down here, and you can clearly see it's very toe-to-toe. The Toro Rosso cars are actually pretty damn fast for some reason down the main straight, and you can see behind me I cover off the Red Bull car and the Force India in the background. You can see the pink Force India, and there's been an incident, though. You can see someone is out of this Grand Prix. There's only 18 runners there. I couldn't actually quite see who it was, but someone's out of this Grand Prix now. I had to slow down because it was under yellow flag, so I couldn't overtake Kvyat into turn 1. I was also too busy defending from the Red Bull car and Force India. But now here we go on lap 12, finally going to make a move on the Russian round the outside on the left hand side. DRS wide open, and you can see Verstappen there comes through. Very opportunistic there from Max Verstappen, and he gets up the order into P3. So at the moment it's Hamilton, myself, and then Verstappen. Maybe not for too long, because here comes the Dutchman on the right hand side with DRS, and maybe also the Force India of Sergio Sergio Perez. I need to try and defend from Perez. Verstappen's completely gone already. I can't defend from him. We try and defend from the Mexican. We just about get that. But into turn 1, the AI are pretty damn strong. I don't know if I'm being very cautious. And then we lock up into the next corner. Oh, no. And then Perez gets us on the left-hand side. And he's got us. You can see at the moment, very, very in it. I guess you could say that's a poor choice of description. Very in the rhythm, I guess you could say, of Baku. Just, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I hate this circuit. It really is horrible. I think it needs to get off the F1 calendar. And I have no pleasure in driving it. So at this stage, struggling quite a bit compared to AI. I'm going to try and make a move down the inside. It's actually going to be a very kind of nice kind of a little move. Toe-to-toe with Perez. A little bit of contact there, but he also made some equally, contact on the exit as well. So that's kind of fine, I think, in my opinion. And we go side by side with him, squeeze him out on the exit there. And so we get back up into P3, but he's going to come back at us there on the left-hand side. And now on the right-hand side, there's going to be Fiat who may come back at us. So yeah, it's really not that great in terms of you just being a sitting duck on the straights with DRS, even though we know the Ferrari car is good in straight line. The Toro Rosso and the Force India are fast enough with DRS to overtake us pretty damn easily. Now you can see I'm going side by side with Russian, and now I get the back end loose. I've lost all composure at this point. At this point in the race, I'm sort of starting to give up with all hope of this race. I'm just kind of fed up with it. I just want to get to the end of the Grand Prix, really. So I kind of back off. I let Vettel through because I want to try and do the same thing I did at the beginning, because what actually happened in the beginning was working. For 5 laps, I was behind Vettel, slipstreaming him, and that was actually working a lot better than me in clean air. I was actually able to go faster following Vettel's lines and breakpoints than going, through the circuit myself. So I've let Vettel through. We've gone down the inside of Fiat now on lap 16, and now I'll try and slipstream and tow Vettel and try and see if we can maybe close up to the top 3 if we can. But as we move on to lap 21, quite a few laps later in the Grand Prix, still trying to chase Vettel as we go through the one nice section in this circuit, I guess the castle section. Nice little left-hander shot there. You can see the castle in the back, and there's been an incident up ahead. Yellow flags have been called out. There's my teammate slowed down. Huge amount of smoke, and Vettel's parked it, and it's because of Massa. Massa once again has blocked Sebastian Vettel. How ironic is that? And Massa smoking away, holding up everyone there. But that's pretty funny that Massa's held up Vettel in the game for the second time in a row. He held him up once again in the Spanish Grand Prix, if you remember, in that episode there. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, just a very boring Grand Prix, really. That's why there's a double header, because it was a pretty bad Grand Prix. We finished up in a lowly 4th place. Really, I'm not even going to put much into it. We're going to move swiftly on to the Austrian Grand Prix. Qualifying very, very competitive at Austria. I'm only there in P6 behind 2 Red Bull cars. So the 2 Red Bull cars doing very, very well. Ricciardo and Verstappen, obviously technically they're sort of home Grand Prix, because Red Bull obviously is an Austrian company. It's the Red Bull Ring. So the 2 Red Bulls putting on a great show. And you can see pole position was very, very close there between the Mercedes car and the Ferrari car. So yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a much better Grand Prix. And Austria definitely should throw up a lot better racing. Going to be a lot closer, hopefully. So, and with us in P6, we have to do a job today right now to try and overtake a lot of cars. So here we go to the first real bit of action, I think, in this episode. 5 red lights to the Austrian Grand Prix. Here we go, 36 laps ahead of us of this power circuit in Austria. And we're off, and it's been an okay start. Ricciardo's had a great start down the inside of Lewis Hamilton. They'll go side by side. Vettel's had a good start. He's off into the lead. Bottas chasing in 2nd place. But Ricciardo and Hamilton to go side by side. Verstappen may make it 3 wide, and it's going to be 2 wide between me and Sergio Perez. Look at this, 5 cars all within about a second of each other. You can throw a blanket over them. Absolutely awesome. So already within a span of a second, this race has been more exciting than the entirety of Baku. We go down the inside of Perez, just about managed to keep P6, but look at that up ahead. The 2 Red Bull cars sandwich Hamilton and are hustling and harrying him. Will Verstappen maybe make a move? No, it's not going to be, because we move on to lap 2. Verstappen still finds himself behind Hamilton, and Hamilton unable to try and overtake Daniel Ricciardo. Meanwhile, out in the lead of this Grand Prix is Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas. So can I try and copy my teammate's speed? We're going to try and do it. We've got slipstream with Verstappen. Can we make a move down the inside? It's going to be very, very tricky. Very high speed. Right-hander coming up in 5th, 4th gear on the apex. Kissing the apex. Side by side still with Max through the final corner. Still side by side. Going to squeeze them out though. And so now with some clean air ahead of us, maybe we can try and chase off the top 4 who are still scrapping away. You can see Ricciardo and Hamilton very close together. And then Bottas and Vettel very close together on the mini-map there on the left-hand side. But ultimately Vettel still leading this Grand Prix. We move on to lap 4. You can see the tyres are really starting to go off. I'm starting to feel that tyre wear as I lose the back end and just about bring it back into the racing line. But we are catching Hamilton. Me and Verstappen have both been catching Hamilton, and Ricciardo's been slowing Hamilton down a little bit. But I'm thinking it's time to come in for a pit stop, so I make a very late call actually there. I was just about to maybe continue on for a 5th lap, but no, we come in for our pit stop here because the tyres are way too worn, especially that the rear left tyre and rear right, actually both the rears very, very worn. So Austria clearly a very rear limited circuit there in that regard. So we strap on this set of soft tyres, so that super soft tyres, sorry, so that'll be the red wall tyres, and so those will hopefully go more than 4 laps at least, probably only about 8 or 9, I'd say. Quite a lot of tyre wear here at Austria, so we're going to just have to see and hope that maybe the undercut is going to be the way to go. As we move on to the beginning of lap 6 through turn 1, we close very fast and rapidly up to Pascal Wehrlein and Ericsson, the two Saubers, who are kind of having a race of their own in no man's land, but they're kind of fighting over the wooden spoon, I guess you could say. And so we're going to slipstream Wehrlein, and we're going to make a very, very audacious move down the inside of both Saubers there. Very aggressive on Ericsson, and probably a little bit harsh, but you know, I need to make that work because I need this clean air now. You can see right ahead of me with the DRS wide open to make it work. We've got yellow flags up ahead though because we've got a car who's got issues. It's one of the McLaren cars, Vandoorne. I think he may have a puncture, I think that maybe, because there wasn't any smoke. Alonso's coming to the pit, so I wonder if maybe both McLarens had a bit of a tangle there. The two teammates maybe had a bit of a kerfuffle, but as we go through turn 1 now, we go side by side with Sebastian Vettel. He's come out of the pit, so look at that. We've got a major undercut. We've overtaken Hamilton and Ricciardo. Now we're going side by side with the race leader, who was the race leader, Sebastian Vettel. We're going to do the switchback though. It's going to be a great ding-dong battle between the two teammates here. We haven't had a real scrap this season until earlier on in the opening round, so can we try and have another great battle with our teammate, the German? Can we go down the inside? No DRS for us. He's going to have DRS, I think he did, because he crossed the activation point. We go side by side through into sector 2. Still side by side. He just about gets us ahead of us, and behind you can see the Red Bull car is still ahead of Hamilton, so Hamilton will be majorly frustrated that Ricciardo, the man chasing him down in the championship for points, is ahead of him now at the Austrian Grand Prix. But we're still on the back of Vettel, still hustling and harrying him. Can we try and make a move in the same place we made the move on Max Verstappen? This will be very, very tight once again down the inside, down to 4th gear momentarily. Very, very close on our front left to his front right through the final corner as well, swooping down the inside. The hand of anger, though, has gone up on the cockpit because we did make some contact there, but Vettel's going to have the slipstream, so we're going to have to do some more defending. We go aggressively to the outside. Meanwhile, behind us, you can see the two Red Bull and Mercedes cars go side by side as well, so Ricciardo and Hamilton in their own scrap at the same time as me and Vettel go in a bit of a scrap. So here we go, going to climb up to the hill, still battling away on lap 9, and all the meanwhile, Valtteri Bottas is there. You can see he just went through on the shot there on the left-hand side. He is going to be in a net first place here, and he's going to really gain from me and Vettel fighting. But it's not like, you know, I don't want to be maybe potentially losing so much time to Vettel, but he's putting up such a great defense and fight, and even, you know, attacking back at me once I've overtaken him. And so once again in sector 2 we'll do battle. Vettel still there with the proximity area. You can see a little bit of a tap there, and once again the hand of anger is out. So me and Vettel are really rubbing shoulders at the moment in this Austrian Grand Prix. Hopefully it doesn't end in misery for either of us. And so Vettel just about makes a really tasty move down the inside there, and you can see how hard I'm pushing because I just have to go opposite lock as the curb catches me. And once again, can we do an identical move and go down the inside of him in this very close right-hander? This time though there is some contact made, so I kind of fear that eventually this will kind of end in misery if we continue like this. And you can see now behind us, look at that, Ricciardo, Hamilton and Verstappen are closed up to us, and Ricciardo maybe going for a cheeky pop down the inside, and the same with Hamilton. It's 4 wide. Hamilton, what on earth has Hamilton done? He's come across all three of us. He's cut the corner across the grass to overtake Ricciardo, and those two do battle. Me and Vettel have lost 2-3 positions now. I've lost 4 as Perez comes out of nowhere, and so now it's all kicking off now as Vettel and Perez go side by side, and me and Vettel as a pairing, the Ferrari pairing, we're just falling behind now. We've lost nearly 4 positions there, just about, as we both get back past Sergio Perez. I've got DRS wide open to try and get back and close up to Max Verstappen. Vettel's going to try and slipstream me to equally do the same. You can see now Hamilton staying ahead of Ricciardo, but that was such an aggressive move. I think it was Hamilton that went aggressively over the curb. He actually pushed Ricciardo, I think it was. I think Ricciardo was the one who had to go to the grass to actually make the corner, but only because Hamilton pushed him off there. Such an odd thing for Hamilton to do, and we saw at Monaco he was so aggressive there in the hairpin, and once now here in Austria just sweeped across 3 cars like they weren't even there. So Yeah, very, very odd behaviour from Hamilton, but clearly he wants the at least the 1-2 at least. I think Bottas at this stage probably has the win in the bag as we go aggressively across Verstappen's front end and chop him off there, because now I really want to get a move on, because now that really did frustrate me, the fact we lost 4 positions in the span of basically 2 straights and a corner. So now we're up into P5 as we cross the line for lap 13, and we're going to get in the slipstream, move to the inside line of Daniel Ricciardo. We're going to try and squeeze him out. I have to leave him the room though, unlike Hamilton did previously, and so we'll go side by side, and up the hill the 2 Red Bull cars will now go side by side, and Verstappen will get enough momentum to go on the right of me, and Ricciardo on the left. Is a bit of a Red Bull sandwich. I back out, but you can see I've broken early because Vettel's there as well. Vettel's made some contact with Verstappen, and that's exactly why I backed out of it, because if I kept my nose in there I would have made some contact. There could have been you know, maybe a crash. I'm not too sure. I have to play it safe in these situations, so I backed out there. Now we go side by side Vettel once again as the 2 Red Bull cars have an absolute scrap and a half in Sector 2, and Helmut Marko must be biting his teeth here and nails at the moment, because the 2 Red Bull cars are really looking quite up for it and very, very aggressive in this Grand Prix. Obviously the home Grand Prix I mentioned, so that's probably firing them up even more, but at the moment I think that was Ricciardo who stayed ahead of Verstappen. I can't quite see the helmets there, and then we're ahead of Sebastian Vettel still in what will be now P7. No, sorry, we're not actually. Vettel's got us. We're down in P7, and we're actually going to make a very late pit stop. We can see cutting across probably a little bit illegally across the Fly Emirates sign there, because actually I lost out to Vettel, and so I think it's time for clean air now and a bit of an undercut strategy. So on lap 14 we're making the pit stop now. You can see also on the bottom right, crucially also, I have low fuel, so I need to save some fuel at some point, which is tricky because Austria, you're probably on the throttle for the most part of the lap compared to when you're braking. So this is going to be one of the trickiest circuits to save fuel, really. So I'm going to have a very tough job if I want to continue battling Vettel, trying to maybe re-overtake the Red Bull cars and save some fuel, and even the Mercedes cars. How can I forget? And we go around the outside of Jody and Palmer there, who gets held up by the Haas car. That's actually quite funny because Palmer continues on. He just got held up so much by the Haas. I just swooped around the outside like no one, like he wasn't even concentrating too much, although he probably wasn't, to be fair. But we're on lap 18 now. We're setting a purple lap time there, so going well. We've got Felipe Massa, who's out of this Grand Prix now, as we're up into P7, the position we were in before the pit stop phases. So that kind of says to me that we should be, I think we have jumped people actually. I think Ricciardo's behind me, and we've got the safety car that has been called out now. So safety car in each of the races we've had this episode, and so now as we move swiftly on to the end of the safety car period, we're still in P7, but now you can see the positions are kind of swapped around. Perez is ahead of me. Ricciardo's lost out massively. He's behind me. Verstappen's ahead of Perez, and he's going to try and make a move on the car ahead of him. But can we try and overtake the Mexican in the Pink Force Indy? We had a battle with him at Baku. Can we try and this time get the one up on him? We're going to dive down the inside, up the hill into the second sector, and it was Verstappen who's held out by the junior team Toro Rosso car of Daniel Kvyat. So there might be a bit of tension there between Kvyat and Verstappen, and so Kvyat putting him a fight. So that's going to help me out, because now I can try and close up on Verstappen, just trying to defend a little bit with Perez there behind me. So I kind of duck to the inside and duck back to the racing line, but now we'll concentrate on Max Verstappen. But there's another yellow flag, a lot of yellow flags, a lot of incidents in this Austrian Grand Prix. It's all very, very tight and very, very exciting. A stark contrast to Baku, and here goes Verstappen down the inside. Awesome to see. They go side by side. This may help me out. Look at that. He's been held up so much that this is exactly what I just said before. He's going to help us out here, Kvyat is. So awesome one, buddy. We're going to try and overtake Verstappen. We can, but look at that. It's going to be 3 wide as Perez dives down the inside. This is not going to end well. We brake very, very late there. Just about duck out of it. And now Perez brake checks me, and he holds me up. There's been another incident ahead of us, or that may have been for us. I'm not too sure. But yet again, getting in a very sticky situation. I had to duck out of that between a sandwich of Verstappen and Perez, and I'm thankful that I didn't lose any of my end plate there, because I had to lock up on the right tire to avoid that accident. And then we just about avoided the brake check. But there's yellow flags in the second sector there on the mini-map, so there may be another incident. But Perez struggles to overtake Kvyat. We make a double overtake, or at least attempt to make a double overtake, as Verstappen's already overtaken Kvyat previously. As we moved on to this lap 24, we've only got 12 laps left in this Grand Prix, so it's flown by here. And Kvyat, just like at Baku, will give us a fight in a straight line. but this time we get the better of him into Sector 2, and we're up into P5. Another yellow flag. Is another car? There's a car on the left there. I think that was Ericsson is out of this Grand Prix, so only 17 runners. So that was Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber, stranded there on the left-hand side. So now we move on to lap 28 behind Lance Stroll. Verstappen's already overtaken the young Canadian, and we'll try and do the same, locking up a little bit on the right tyre, but that's no drama for us. We overtake Lance Stroll, and we're up into 3rd place now. So good podium position, but can we try and get what would be an even better 2nd place? But at this point now, as I said earlier, Bottas is just nowhere to be seen. He really capitalised on the fact he was in clean air, not fighting with the 2 Red Bulls, the 2 Ferraris, his other teammate of Hamilton in the other Mercedes car. So he's really capitalised on that. And now we're going to try and overtake Verstappen, though, to try and make it at least 2nd place, the next best position, I guess. And so we'll go down the inside. We'll have the tighter line, unfortunately. So maybe Max has played that quite cleverly, because he's going to get a better drive off this corner. We're going to have to try our best and maybe stick it round the outside. It's going to be close. We couldn't do it with our teammate earlier, but can we do it with Verstappen? We'll just about hang it, and Verstappen will leave us the room, thankfully. Gets so close to his side pole there. This is great stuff to witness side by side still through this entire S section. Awesome respect there between us two. And can we go side by side in the same place we went side by side earlier in the Grand Prix? We will try here, and we'll keep on going side by side through the final corner, and all the while Stroll will try and close up to us. And look at that, through the final bend, Verstappen lost momentum equally, and now Lance Stroll will try and make a move. He'll go down the inside of us to nearly make it 3 wide momentarily. We'll defend to the outside line. We've locked up, though. We've actually gotten off the circuit because I've locked up and just gone a bit too fast into that corner, and that's not giving me the best drive for that corner. So Lance Stroll's now up into 3rd place, and he's now closing me up. But we've got Vettel now. We've not seen too much of him since he lost out in the safety car period, but he's come out of nowhere now to come up and try and challenge for P3. This will be. He's up into P3. I'm down to P4. Stroll's overtaken me, so this is all getting very confusing because so many cars are coming out of nowhere, and so it's so hard to keep up. But at the moment now, it's Bottas, Stroll, Vettel, myself, Verstappen, and then I believe it's Daniel Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton, and maybe potentially Sergio Perez somewhere in there. But for now, this top 3 fight is between Stroll, Vettel, and myself for P2 down to P4, and maybe even P5, because Verstappen, you can see in the mirrors, is not too far off. But onto that 36, here goes our teammate Vettel. Very aggressive move down to turn 1. Great to see the AI cars are making moves into turn 1, but Vettel loses out momentum there, and so we'll go 3 wide a little bit, just about, as I poke my nose through. But here comes Verstappen as well. Absolutely amazing stuff. We've seen so many cars go side by side up this hill section into Sector 2, and so Vettel is going to try and squeeze out Verstappen. My tyres are going off the absolute cliff, you can see, but we've only got 1 lap left. This is the last lap of the Grand Prix, so can we try and defend from Verstappen and maybe make a move? This may have to be a big old dive bomb down the inside of Vettel. We do it, locking up on the right tyre, use the curbing a little bit, and we do get it as Vettel's tyres are also going off, so that's a very big move for us. Will Vettel stick it down the inside? No, he won't, so we'll keep 3rd place. Can we try and close up on Stroll? Because Stroll's really struggling now. All of us have got really worn tyres. Bottas is going to win this Grand Prix, but can it be a fairy tale ending to make 3 moves on 1 lap to try and get 2nd place in this Grand Prix? Stroll, he's struggling here down the inside, 4th gear, no contacts made, just pure downforce there from the Ferrari car. We'll go side by side. It's going to be this squeeze out, and it's going to be a fantastic 2nd place there. Get in, lads, get in. What a great race that was. What a splendid one. That we deserve that race, because Baku was an absolute turd of a race. So that was absolutely awesome. I was surprised at how good of an Austrian Grand Prix that was, because I'll be honest, in the past, the Austrian Grand Prix has not been an absolute stunner on this game, but that was a really great one. Really great. And to get 2nd place there, absolutely awesome, with such worn tyres at the end. So we do extend our lead a little bit to Vettel, but Bottas with 25 points closes up now a little bit towards Vettel. Breaks the 100 mark now. The first time a Mercedes driver breaks the 100 mark. You can see Hamilton just about stays ahead of Ricciardo in the point, but Verstappen now closes up to Ricciardo. So the top 6 all sort of bunching up a little bit. I'm losing a few points here and there to kind of the 2 Mercedes cars or Vettel, which kind of flip-flops each race. But then you got the 2 Red Bull cars equally really charging up to close up to the Mercedes guys. And the constructors, it's a completely different story, actually. Ferrari dominating this, so I'm sure Ferrari fans will be happy, because me and Vettel are such a strong pairing now. and we're nearly at the 300 mark point, so that's really great for us. And it looks like, you know, I don't want to jinx it, but I think we may find it quite comfortable to get the constructors in this career mode season. But we'll have to see. Really, anything can really happen. You never know. We could have equally 2 DNFs. You can't say anything in Formula 1. Nothing's kind of predictable in that sense. So, guys, if you have enjoyed that episode, smash the like button. Let me know what you thought. I do apologise a little bit for the boring Baku Grand Prix, but you know, sue me. I mean, it's just a really crap circuit in my opinion, and I'm sure in loads of people's opinions, especially on the game. It really is just a circuit I never enjoyed doing. It's just unfortunate, obviously, to stay realistic to the 2017 season. I can't not do it, so it was a little bit of a kind of a, you know, 5 minutes of a bit of wasted time really at the beginning of the episode. But hopefully you did enjoy the Austrian Grand Prix. That was an absolutely great one. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly F1 content. I've been Ava. Hope you enjoyed today, and I will see you guys next time.